Clear Eyes, Full Hearts is an episode-by-episode inside look at the hit TV show Friday Night Lights. I'm Stacey Oristano, a.k.a. Mindy Collette Riggins.
And I'm Derek Phillips, a.k.a. Billy Riggins.
Join us each week as we rewatch every episode of Friday Night Lights.
We'll answer fan questions.
And we'll chat with some of your favorite cast members.
Clear Eyes, Full Hearts is a podcast presentation of Cadence 13 in association with Black Barrel Media and Ritual Productions. Listen now for free on Odyssey or wherever you get your podcasts.
From C13 Features, a new kind of listening experience.
He's back!
Help me!
Get out of there.
It's here.
No, don't let them in.
You can experience Treat, a podcast movie starring Kiernan Shipka, for free on Odyssey, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and wherever you listen to your podcasts. Grab some popcorn and enjoy the show.
Beat me up on the mammast of all mama shit.
Hey, I'm looking through my telescope and I see a mothership. Is that you? Beam me up.
Hey, DA, I'm thirsty, man. Can you beam me up for a cold one?
Hey, DA, what's going on, baby? Stop me off and beam me up. DA, what's the silly? Oh, permission to get in that mothership.
Is my window seat still available? Beam me up.
What's going on, DA? Hey, man, I need you to do me a huge favor. My coworker's a jerk. Oh, just beam me up, man.
Get beamed up. Everyone else has. It's DA on CBS Sports Radio.
And we come to you live from the Rocket Mortgage Studios. Want to see your loan options, adjust payments and closing costs online in real time? Well, Rocket can.
You have made it, boys and girls. You have made it to the hour where all of the glory will reside in today's show. Coming up in 40 minutes, meat on the bone. And I can promise you this, it will be the most iconic, most memorable meat on the bone we've ever done. Yesterday, Peter Schwartz took to Twitter and basically hit for the grand slam. Everything you were hoping and dreaming of in a series of Schwartz tweets came to pass. So much so, some actually have been deleted.
I'm on Twitter or Facebook right now.
Detective Milkshake is on the case. We've got boots on the ground. He's our private eye. He's going to give us the details of yesterday's wild and woolly social media storm created by the one and only Peter Schwartz. That's coming up in 40 minutes. In 20 minutes, we are stunned to an ooze and have sound check. And that includes Carlos Correa back in the World Series tonight, Game 1. And the guys in-house go after Mraz after his own social media snafu. However, we begin with a report. Carson Palmer joined Dan Patrick yesterday. Now, Carson Palmer, of course, a former USC guy, and said there are 4 finalists for the USC job. 3 of them are no surprise whatsoever. James Franklin of Penn State, although watching the Penn State offense the last couple of weeks, including that loss to Illinois, might make Trojans fans pause whether they want James Franklin there or not. But James Franklin has been kind of the odds-on favorite in a lot of ways for months now. Or what, a month and a half or so? Number 2, Matt Campbell at Iowa State. Not the season the Cyclones would have pictured, envisioned when they were a preseason top 10, but still pointed in the right direction. The program's been strong under him. Campbell's been seen as a rising star. We know those 2 names, along with Luke Fickell at Cincinnati. Again, a program that he has helped build into a powerhouse. They're the number 2 team of the country, still undefeated. Eyes on a college football playoff, the first ever group of 5 team making the college football playoff, perhaps. Those 3 we knew, those 3 we know, those 3 we could have predicted. And then he throws in, and Mike Tomlin. What? Now, Mike Tomlin has been with the Steelers for 12 years, Mraz?
Has it been? No, I think longer.
13 years? 14 years? Let's see. They won in 05, and then Cowher came back for 06, and he took over in 07. So, 14 years for Mike Tomlin. 14 years. And this season, obviously, is not going well. We all see it. We all know it. But Mike Tomlin has been an NFL guy ever since 2001. He was with the Buccaneers on Tony Dungy's staff as the defensive backs coach back in the early 2000s. He was the DC for the Vikings for a season in 06, and then took over the Steelers job in 07, and of course he's still there now. In his college days as a wide receivers coach or defensive backs coach, it was at VMI, Memphis, Arkansas State, and Cincinnati. No ties to USC. Mike Tomlin is not from Southern California. So this is really off the radar. No connections to the region, no connections to the school, and has not been in college for 20 years. Carson Palmer, I'm sure, has good sources. Carson Palmer is a legend at USC. Carson Palmer, I'm sure, speaks to big boosters and speaks to people inside the athletic department. And I don't doubt that Carson Palmer has good intel on a lot of things at USC. I think there's 0% chance Mike Tomlin's taking the USC job. 0. First of all, I think there's less than a 10% chance he gets fired this season. It's probably more like a 5% chance. So that's the first part, that you're going to ask Mike Tomlin to leave the Steelers job for the USC job. He ain't doing that. Mike Tomlin is not a guy that bails on something. Mike Tomlin, probably to his own detriment, is at times so dug in and so committed to the cause in his mind that there's no way Mike Tomlin is up and leaving the Pittsburgh Steelers without getting fired. Now, you might say, well, DA, is it possible it's a mutual parting of the ways because maybe things have grown stale in Pittsburgh? This is going to be a non-playoff season in Pittsburgh. Perhaps they nudge him out, and Tomlin kind of sees the writing on the wall. Yeah, is that going to happen in mid-December when USC makes this decision? I mean, remember, the NFL season is going to be 17 weeks long this year with an 18th week for a bye. So it goes a week longer, which now means the regular season's into early January. This would mean that Mike Tomlin would basically leave the Steelers job with a month to go when USC does make this hire, because they're going to make this hire before the bowl game. They got to finish up the regular season, then make the hire. I don't think Mike Tomlin and the Steelers are parting of the ways a month before the end of the regular season. That's the second part. The third part is the Steelers don't fire anybody. They've let the last two guys retire. They let Chuck Noll retire when he wanted to, and they let Bill Cowher retire when he wanted to. They don't nudge people out the door. They don't fire them. There's no heat on them. Suddenly, knowing that this is a broken roster with a broken quarterback, suddenly the Rooneys have no patience, and they're like, you know what? This is the year we get rid of Mike Tomlin. There were other opportunities to get rid of Mike Tomlin after dramatic losses like last year in the playoffs to the Browns and that disaster, or the disaster against the Jacksonville Jaguars. But this season, the idea would be that they'd suddenly fire him. I don't see that either. So that all combines for a reason that I think that there is absolutely no chance Mike Tomlin's the next head coach at USC. It makes for good copy. Certainly got my attention. Carson Palmer came on our airwaves, on our show at Radio Row a couple of years ago and said some things about Joe Burrow that made news. He shouldn't go there. I went there. It was a disaster. You need guarantees. He should hold out. He should force a trade. So Palmer's been very talkative, and we like when he's talkative. That's interesting, but maybe not always completely believable. There's one last reason Mike Tomlin's not going to be the next head coach at USC. He ain't texting 18
18-year-olds day in, day out to come play for him. You think Mike Tomlin wants that? Think about Mike Tomlin. You think about Mike Tomlin for a second, and you ask yourself, is that guy going to be recruiting on the road trying to convince 17 and 18-year-olds to come play for his football team and go and do silly things like Harbaugh does, sleeping in tree houses and doing this and that, jungle gym nonsense? You think he's doing that type of No. Mike Tomlin's not cut from that cloth. Mike Tomlin's super intense. Mike Tomlin is super ingrained. Mike Tomlin's not leaving the NFL. He has no interest in trying to love up and win over an 18-year-old at a prep school to be his wide receiver. Not happening. There are pro guys that have done that, like Herm Edwards. Left and went to college. Herm Edwards doesn't do much recruiting, but Herm Edwards also views himself as kind of a wise elder to pass down information and education to young kids with. And Herm Edwards also didn't have another NFL head coaching job. Urban Meyer might not seem like he likes to recruit, but Urban Meyer likes the control. Urban Meyer likes the power, so he puts up with the recruiting. And you can have your assistant coaches do most of the recruiting, but you do need to close. You don't think Nick Saban closes? You don't think Nick Saban then convinces a mom or a dad or an uncle or a grandmother or a kid about what's best for him and his career, et cetera? You got to do it. Mike Tomlin's not that guy. He ain't that guy. And also, if Mike Tomlin did get fired, he'd have another head coaching job in the NFL. He would. The guy's been to multiple Super Bowls and won one and has had the Steelers as a contender for a long time and done some outstanding coaching work. If Mike McCarthy can get a job, I know Mike Tomlin can get a job. So while I believe James Franklin is one of the favorites and probably the prohibitive favorite to get the job, and I believe Fickell and I believe Matt Campbell, I don't believe in any world that I live in that Mike Tomlin is the next head coach at USC. Hit me up on Twitter with your trashes this morning. DA on CBS. Again, DA on CBS. Rob in the 321. DA, you said AFC Central again. I'm trashing you for doing that. It's the AFC North. That's the joke, Rob. That's the joke. This must have been like the third time Rob has not gotten the joke.
Stunning.
That's the bit. Hawaiian Tony Danza tweets, do you think if Mraz had an oopsie, which is ironically the same word in Spanish, in the sink at the Cancun airport, would he also have been beaten with a flour sock as his sentence?
Mm-hmm.
Hashtag get out the bleach. Hashtag literally unpipe it. You don't want to know what happens internationally if you get nailed on something like that.
Unpipe it! Yeah, I don't think it's flour socks. But I don't know what the crime would be. It's a bathroom. I'm going to the bathroom in the bathroom. I requested an opening of another toilet. I was declined by the guy who cleaned said toilet, so now I gave him something to clean.
And I would love to see you in front of Mexican authorities rationally and reasonably try to explain your case and them totally understand.
If you make it there.
In an international airport.
When you got to go, you got to go.
Ryan tweets, Geno Smith, horrible. Needed 4 points from Lockett this week. Geno got him 2.2. Straight garbage. Trash him.
Let's face it, that's straight trash.
Hawaiian Tony Danza adds, I thought that Mraz was thinking Gary Bettman was the commissioner of Halloween because of his striking resemblance to the Sesame Street Count.
That's pretty good, actually.
Bettman and the Count. Yes, very good. Angelo tweets, I'm trashing all of you except Pete the Body. I'm 64 years old, so I'm definitely old, but I've loved Almond Joy since I was a kid. As for candy corn, I love it as well, but I've noticed people who hate it not only trash it, you trash those of us who love it.
Get them all out.
Charlie Sheen just dumped that on the set of Men at Work.
Thank you, sir.
That's the point. You don't start liking Almond Joy when you turn 60. The point is, it was popular when you were younger. You liked it, and young kids don't like it anymore.
Jeffrey tweets, Yo, DA, I'm trashing Mraz for insulting my intelligence by suggesting Dipsy Doodles be eaten with dip. Blasphemy. Cool Ranch Doritos, the only way to go. Trash Mraz.
Beep, beep. Sanitation just arrived.
Counter?
French onion dip with bacon with Cool Ranch Doritos? We might be onto something next season. I hadn't thought of that.
Well, someone else thought of it.
See, but that's the point. That guy gets it. That you can vary the chips and it changes up the food. That guy needs to work with me. We need to collaborate.
You're not allowed to do sour cream and onion dip ever again.
How about no more dip?
How about no more dip?
It's not sour cream and onion. It's French onion. They made it in France.
So ranch dip with bacon out.
Mm-hmm. Kevin's in Reading, PA, listening to CBS Sports Radio. Good morning, Kev.
Good morning, DA. Can you beam me up?
Yes, sir.
Yes, I was in Cancun about 20 years ago, so I don't know if the airport's still the same, but I thought I landed in Jonestown, Guyana. We go in the bathroom, I got a bad gut from the flight, and we go in the bathroom, and there's no seats on the stalls, no doors. I thought, this is like, I couldn't believe I was in Cancun. I thought I was in Jonestown.
There were no doors on the stalls and no seats on the toilets?
None. I went to Cancun thinking this vacation, and we landed at this airport. It was like a field, and then we hopped in a Jeep because there were no taxis or Ubers back then, but a Jeep to our hotel. But there was no doors, no seats. It was, after a long flight, I had a bad gut, and it was sort of eating like bad cutlets.
Boy, that's a devastating turn of events.
Big cutlets.
That's a devastating realization.
Definitely needed to bleach on that one.
The airport itself is fine now. It's modernized. Tarmacs are nice. Waiting areas are nice.
Great bubblegum shrimp in the Cancun airport.
Is there?
Oh, yeah. Had a nice meal there.
Yeah, no, everything was fine, except the line was really extraordinarily long. Then again, it's COVID, so I guess that comes with the territory. But just no urinals, only stalls, and every stall was taken by a guy that was just like holding Zoom meetings in there.
Holding court.
When we come back on the show, your best audio of the day, Aaron Rodgers on preseason expectations of the Packers, Carlos Correa on Game 1 of the World Series, and guys in-house are attacking Mraz again. DA, CBS Sports Radio.
Man, there are a lot of podcasts out there.
Definitely. I mean, there's 3 million shows, 50 million episodes, and more every day.
I mean, who has the time to figure out which ones are the best podcasts?
We do. That's who. What's up, guys? I am Alicia Renee.
And I'm Dax Holt.
And we are your hosts of Pod Sauce, a podcast discovery show.
Look at us as your podcast concierge.
We do all the work for you. We listen to the shows, review them,
pick the best episodes, and interview the hosts.
Pod Sauce. Let us help you find your next binge. Tell them where to go, Dax.
Go to podsauce.com.
Have you cut the cord and are feeling bored with your streaming services? CuriosityStream can help. With thousands of documentary films and TV shows, let CuriosityStream put the science back in your screen time. Astound you with history come to life and wildlife that will reach out and grab you. We've got the fix for your nonfiction addiction. Watch us on any device, anywhere you are. Visit CuriosityStream.com to sign up and start streaming now.
I'm Shayna.
And I'm Tracy, and we're the hosts of Band of Mothers podcasts. We're a little Wait, Don't Tell Me meets This American Life meets Thelma and Louise.
I can't wait to drive off a cliff with you.
You've been saying that since the 8th grade.
Each week, we feature real stories from moms just like you. Plus, we've got live performances, in-studio interviews, games, original music, and more.
So join our Band of Mothers and subscribe now on the Odyssey app or anywhere you listen to podcasts.
It's the Band of Mothers podcast.
CBS presents this program in color.
An educated person can't think he's going to get a recruit by strippers coming in.
They can fire you, but they can't eat you.
And they run through our ass like through a tin horn, man, and we could not stop them.
The audio you need to hear. It's DA Soundcheck.
Tune in Friday for the DA Show Spooktacular. We'll all be in costume. Watch us at watchda.com or on Twitch as well with a very special guest coming on. Aaron Rodgers, after coming out of a preseason and an offseason that was filled with drama, what did he think about outside expectations?
Not many people would have expected this, maybe looking at our schedule starting the season. Definitely not after week one. So I'm proud of our guys, the way we're playing, getting contributions from a lot of different guys.
Packers have been much better than anticipated because of how awful they looked in week number one. And I think Rodgers deserves a lot of credit for playing at an elite level throughout this season, despite that week number one disaster. I think the defense deserves credit as well, and I think the coaching staff deserves credit. While the offseason could have run a lot of franchises off the road, and a coaching staff could have become embittered, self-involved. They could have become stubborn. They have been able to work with Rodgers. Rodgers has proven he didn't need much of a preseason or offseason, just basically one tune-up game where he could look like a disaster against the Saints. And since then, he's been phenomenal. And the Packers defense has rallied as well. And they've beaten some good teams. They have done it kind of by some close calls as well. But they're 6-1, and they deserve a lot of credit. I think it does become a little different when they take on the Cardinals this coming Thursday night. I think it's different when they take on the Rams later on in November. I think it's different when they're in Baltimore in December. Those are much tougher games than they played so far. I mean, their best win to this point in time is against the Bengals. And the Bengals, remember, missed 3 field goals to potentially win it. So they're winning. They haven't beaten Titans of the NFL, but I do think you got to give them credit because they have stabilized a ship that looked very rocky coming into the year. Here's Carlos Correa as the Houston Astros find themselves in their 3rd World Series in 5 years.
It's really special to be here once again with this group of guys. Like I said before, I don't take any single second of this year for granted. It's just special to share the locker room with that group of guys that we have in there. They show up every single day, ready to work. They show up every day, and they work like champions. And we're here 4 wins away to become world champions once again. So we want to go out there, make it special, and hopefully win it all.
Tonight's Game 1, MLB Network's Adnan Virk is going to join us in about a half hour from now, and we'll preview the World Series with him. I think this World Series matchup might not be sexy for the general public. I don't assume it'll get good ratings unless it gets to a Game 6 and a Game 7. But I actually do think it's interesting from this standpoint. Astros are trying to prove to everybody that cheating didn't help them win a World Series. Or at least it wasn't only their cheating. This is a redemption tour for them. If they can be caught red-handed and punished the way that they were, and it wasn't much, but they were punished, and rebound to win a World Series after it, then they get the last laugh, right? I mean, I have to imagine they're not cheating right now. Because if they are cheating right now still in some different way, that is beyond brazen. And yes, maybe the Astros are built that way, but I'm going to tend to believe that they're not. So this is the last laugh for the Astros. And it's impossible not to like Dusty Baker. The guy is a baseball lifer. He's interesting. He's a player's manager. He lost his only other time of the World Series in 2002 in a Game 7 against the Angels when he was managing Barry Bonds of the Giants. Baker getting a World Series title would be the ultimate redemption story for him as well. From a Braves standpoint, I mean, simply the city of Atlanta. The city of Atlanta has been tortured forever. This is a Braves team that was sub 500 in early August. This is a Braves franchise that went years of the 90s and always came up short, except for 95.
And could it be the exact opposite where, as a Cinderella, they win one out of nowhere? Now, I know they've been good the last couple of years. I know they were in the NLCS last year. But that they'd finally break through to the World Series with an 88-win team, and that'd be the one that finally brought home the championship for the first time since the mid-'90s. That'd be pretty incredible. And doing it without Acuna, their best player. I think either way, it's a great story with a championship, and I think it's a fun series. I'm not sure how America's going to care about it, though. And finally, on Sunday, Mraz does these little post-game Giants videos for WFAN in New York. WFAN likes the fact that he's a Giants fan. They want him to kind of stir the pot, doing what fans would do. Mraz, of course, takes this way too far because this is not what fans do, but he gets up on his bar. He takes a Panthers Julius Peppers jersey, and he wipes his bum with it, and then yells into the camera, "Ah, go Giants, ah." Well, after doing that, Boomer and Gio discussed it on WFAN in New York and the CBS Sports Network on TV.
Aziz, God bless you. A happy Sunday for once. What is this? Matt, rule this. We win finally. Let's go.
The Sean Marash instant reaction video after the Giants won, where he was up on his father's homemade backyard bar, and he was yelling into the camera, standing on top of it. Then he grabbed a Carolina Panther jersey and wiped his butt with it and threw it away. And that was the instant reaction video.
Paul Dottino do one?
I thought the same exact thing, Jerry. I was like, what does Dottino think of this? What does Paul Dottino, when he said that Paul Dottino called himself the steak of the Giants beat, where Marash was a hot dog, and he also said that Marash was sugar water. And here's Marash wiping his butt with a Panthers jersey in his dad's backyard.
Yeah, there's nothing more Long Island than a homemade tiki bar in your backyard.
Yeah. Bob Morash bar, and this is what the instant reaction video is. I can't believe, I actually was surprised they put that up there, quite frankly, because I mean he wipes his butt with the jersey. But anyway,
well, who put it up there? We did or he did?
No, WFAN's official Twitter account.
Oh yeah, we cover all of our.
We need more of
talent.
That.
Yeah,
digital.
It is sad. It is sad that the legacy sports radio station, the first ever 24/7 sports radio station, this is like the origin of the industry, has been debased so much that the digital department thinks it's funny to put that video up there. That Mraz just acting like a complete moron. It's just like that's good for business. And that's just like kind of what the media is. And I'm not going to sit on a high horse because I wear a Wizards beard on Thursdays. Okay? And I slug down piping hot salsa to scald my internal organs when I lose a bet. So I'm not saying that we're any library of sanctity here. But I mean, Mraz, you are now like, I'll do anything. I'll be as crass and as crude as possible. I'll be in your face, obnoxious. Whatever you need, I'll do it if you'll post it.
Well, I'm a yes man. I'm going to give them what they want. Company's going to keep using me. Now, looking back, I cringe a little bit watching it, but I'm also out of ideas here. They want me doing these every week. We won. I mean, short of taking out, Bo Jackson and swinging him around, I don't know what I'm supposed to do here.
You're out. Bo Jackson?
Yeah, my situation down there.
You call him Bo Jackson?
It's been a nickname down there for a long time.
Okay. Again, we couldn't debase this entire company more than having Mraz unveil the nickname that he has for his junk. But anyway, you're saying I'm out of ideas. The Giants have won 2 games.
That's the thing.
You're out of ideas?
If I could raise my hand here, I did not expect them to win on Sunday at all. They didn't fire anybody after the Rams debacle. I wasn't even looking forward to the game Sunday. I was watching it because I had to. I was stunned, and that was their biggest margin of victory win since 2012. I was ecstatic.
Well, what happens if they win a third game this year?
What's
next?
I got to tone it down. There won't be any wiping. The wiping also was, I was so tired of the Matt Rule love, too.
Well, you just hate Gelb.
Yeah, that played into it. It absolutely played into it. Now I find out Gelb's dating my sister's best friend. There's a whole thing going on.
Really?
Yeah, and he didn't even tell me this.
Oh.
Gelb didn't?
No, picked her up at Bob's by the Bay during that week 1 college football when he picked up. Yeah, I find this out Sunday.
When he was at your house for 8 hours?
Yeah, picked up my sister's best friend. They've been dating for 2 months now. I didn't know any of this. My sister knows. She's in a group chat apparently with Zach Gelb and this girl. I get blindsided by this at halftime as we're winning 5-3. I got Carolina Panthers onesies being sent to me. Then I got digital going, hey, if they win this game, we really need a positive reaction. Screw that. I had enough of Gelb. I had enough of Matt Rule. I wiped my butt with the jersey. In hindsight, I look back and I go, hey, I don't really even like the way I was viewed there. But it was a lot bearing on me with this Giant Panther game, and I didn't expect to win.
What was the sneeze joke at the outset?
That one made me cringe a little bit. It was trying to be a hat tip to Chris Berman when he used to do the Azahir Hakim. The Giants' big pass rusher this year has become Azeez Ojulari. Might win Defensive Rookie of the Year. He had 2.5 sacks Sunday, so I did a little fake sneeze like Berman because he had the big day, and it didn't play well. Look, I'm not going to lie. You want to have one back? I'd like to have that one back. That's going to live forever, me wiping my butt with let's calm down, too. It's not my real butt. It was on the outside of my sweatpants. But in hindsight, yeah, I should be approaching that differently.
Can we just go back through a couple of things, DA? So he said last hour that he is a professional. It's not all, ridiculousness and I can talk Saints, Seahawks. So he had nothing else to break down after a Giants win.
He's watched every play, knows every depth chart change, every transaction, knows everything there is to know about the Giants, hosts a podcast about it. He had nothing after the second win of the season, nothing besides a sneeze joke and a butt wipe.
They're not looking for me to give a 3-minute breakdown of, hey, pass rush was good today. Good job. They want a little excitement. Hey, get the fans fired up here. So that was like my fireman Ed with the Jets. Let's go. On top of the bar. Look, in hindsight, do I like the way that video came out? No.
Yes. Yes,
but
you do. You liked up until just now.
I'm not going to fake be offended that I wiped my fake butt. That's not going to happen.
I'm not offended either by that. I mean, you suggested it's akin to Randy Moss and the
moon. Like Joe Buck acting like there's no worse. He didn't actually moon.
It's not offensive. It's just like, this is where you want your mom blames me for somehow
always comes back to her.
Grading down your career. Like, I'm not doing you any favors. Like, you shouldn't let them talk about you that way. The bosses will think, you're just a dummy. The bosses will think this. The bosses will think that. Like, hello, Nancy, are you listening? Nancy, I was not at Bob's bar on Sunday, and your son jumped up on the bar, wiped his butt with a Panthers jersey, and sent it to the most powerful sports radio station in the world to post on their Twitter account that has hundreds of thousands of followers. Nancy, it's not me.
You're right. 2 other quick caveats, because I've had to have meetings with WFAN's digital department. Apparently, my reaction videos after the games are doing better, view-wise.
Of course they are.
Than any of their Monday through Friday stuff that they put up, which is asking them for more me. I didn't ask for that, but people are clicking on these like crazy, apparently. Apparently, their Instagram gets no traction, only gets traction when videos of me get posted. I didn't ask for that. Number 2, the one criticism I did get from Giants fans who listen to my podcast and anything like that is, I really like you, but sometimes you're way too negative. There's nothing positive you ever see. So both of those things viewing in my head, like I have to do something because FAN feels like my videos are getting a lot of traction, and I'm also weighing on all these Giant fans who think I'm too negative. So here I went with this rah-rah, oh my goodness, we won this game. We haven't won a game like this since 2012, and now it led to people going, you're an embarrassment.
But you can't cheer without wiping your butt?
I tried to do something crazy in it. I agree. Look, I agree. But this is when you're talking about, wanting to be approached. It's like a quarterback. You throw an interception. What can you learn there? I'm going to learn from this video, and I'm going to go on.
You're not going to learn from this video. We're
There's
going
no
to do
chance.
this
Not even a
again
little bit.
in a week.
No, I'm not going to wipe my butt again. I'm done wiping my butt.
Wait till win 3 when you have to find something else and you have nothing else to come up with.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this is going to happen over and over again.
It
we
should-
know this.
it should.
Then why are we saying I'm going to improve and move on to Cincinnati? Why are we saying that? Because it doesn't change. It never changes.
And
you're
in the same
full
week-
of glee on this video.
Yeah, totally. And in the same week, Mraz went from, I have no ideas left, I'm just going to add dipsy doodles to French onion dip, to, I've got no ideas left, I'm just going to wipe my butt with a Panthers jersey. Are we just out of ideas, it's just in general in life?
Get some damn ideas.
2.5 hours sleep a night here, guys. I was in the middle of working 8 straight days. Give me a break, all right? We dip some corn chips and some French onion dip, and I fake wipe my butt. We move on. It's a new week, all right? I'll learn. You're going to have a great food of the week this week, and when we get killed by the Chiefs, I'll be back to yelling and screaming.
It's just a tough look. I'm looking at this video, which has nearly 4,000 views. It's just a tough look for everybody. It's a tough look for that network, WFAN. It's a tough look for our show. It's a tough look for your family. It's a tough look for you. It's just...
No.
It's tough.
You heard all the laughing in the background. They loved it. He had an audience. He had a studio audience cheering him on after that. They loved this.
I know. That family, that group of people. I mean, you know. This plays in their house. This plays.
I did have a boss walk in first thing Monday morning. Great job on that.
That's devastating to hear.
So what am I supposed to do, not follow management's lead?
That's devastating.
Maybe devastating. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. So I'm getting push-pull here. What am I going to do?
Was that Dave or Spike that said that?
Spike.
Said great job on the butt wipe?
Very funny.
Oh, my God. I can't work for this man. The show's over. I can't.
Where's Connor?
Now, honestly, I'm probably fired under the last boss.
Yes!
Or at very least, it's not getting posted.
What are you doing? What? No.
You're butt wiping now? You got no other ideas?
Again?
Again with the butt wipe?
It was a bad week for ideas.
All right, AB has our headlines. We got a lot to get to this hour. What's going on, AB?
DA, it started pretty well for Geno Smith and the Seahawks against the Saints.
Geno under center, play fake. This time he's going to let it fly downfield. Reaching up, making the catch. It's Metcalf. He could go 40, 30, 20, 10, 5. Touchdown, Seahawks.
That's Steve Rabel on Seahawks Radio. An 84-yard connection less than 5 minutes into Monday Night Football, but only one more completion to Metcalf last night. Only one more field goal, 2 misses from Jason Myers. There were 5 sacks and too many bad penalties. It all became a 13-10 home loss. The Seahawks now 0 for 3 without Russell Wilson, 2-5 overall. The Saints, meanwhile, get to 4-2 thanks to Brian Johnson's tie-breaking 33-yard field goal with 1:56 left in his NFL debut. The Boston Celtics began this NBA season 0-2. Now they've got back-to-back wins.
Oubre, left-hand dribble, attacks the paint, switches to the right hand. It's no good. Rebound. Fielded by Tatum. Celtics have a 3-on-1. Tatum for Jaylen Brown. Elevates and flushes hard in the face of the Eastern Conference Player of the Week. Celtics by 5.
That's Sean Grandy, Cedric Maxwell, Celtics Radio. Brown scored 30. Jason Tatum had 41 and a 140-129 OT win in Charlotte. This is the Hornets' first loss of the season. The Clippers down the Blazers 116-86. The Nets took care of the Wizards 104-90 with Kevin Durant scoring 25. And the Bucks got a 119-109 win in Indy. Texas Tech fired football coach Matt Wells yesterday. And from the NHL, the Panthers topped the Coyotes 5-3 for the first 6-0 start in the NHL in 6 seasons. DA, back to you.
Thank you, Bogues. We're going to do Stun to a News next hour because coming up here next on the show is a segment of vital importance. Yesterday was, in many ways, the most damning and the most illuminating tweet storm of Peter Schwartz's career. It has already been called his Michael Jordan last shot moment. It has everything you could have ever wanted in a Schwartz tweet storm. It's obviously the basis of Detective Milkshake going undercover as part of Meat on the Bone next. DA, CBS Sports Radio.
$5,000 enough to you? What was your last contract? $1.5 million now? Now $5,000 is a lot of money.
The DA Show on CBS Sports Radio.
What makes AutoZone America's #1 battery destination? Because they offer free battery testing and charging and reliable replacement batteries. And they've always got your battery solution. Get the zone. AutoZone. That's the music of the one and only Detective Milkshake, who's on the case. Mraz throws on his fedora, breaks out his magnifying glass, and becomes the gumshoe of the DA Show. And of course, his main topic of investigation is always Schwartz's tweets. And yesterday, Peter Schwartz had a trio of tweets that can only be summarized as both glorious and humiliating. It had every emotion you could ever possibly want baked into it. It's why we have to do this morning's Meat on the Bone.
Looking for more fried foods at school?
I got a lot of meat on my bones.
Searching for an 8-foul bowl?
It doesn't matter who we are. What matters is our plan.
Mraz is our eyes and ears on the ground.
I read the newspaper daily.
It's Meat on the Bone.
Okay, where do we begin?
All right, DA, look, many have asked, how much is enough? How much is too much when it comes to Peter Schwartz and memorabilia and free stuff? And the answer is it's never enough. The Tom Brady story yesterday in the 600th ball made the waves. So, of course, when you're thinking about what do fans get and receive for having memorabilia, you think Peter Schwartz, and he did not shy away. This fan received a signed Mike Evans jersey, his game cleats, $1,000 credit to a team store, some signed jerseys, and a helmet. Schwartz, that would not be enough.
Because this guy had Tom Brady's 600th touchdown pass because Mike Evans caught it and threw it into the stands.
Right.
And they worked out a deal during the game.
Right. Pete responds, they couldn't throw in a TB autograph ball from one of the other touchdown passes. I would have given it back too, but I would have demanded a bigger haul.
You're just completely self-owning how greedy he is.
Right, and also, Pete, if they signed another touchdown pass ball, would you even know it was another touchdown pass ball? Or could they have just, you have asked for that, and then they told you that, and you would have accepted it? Just a dope. Now, the day didn't stop there, clearly, as we've alluded to.
It's just perfect that Schwartz saw this story and was like, I'm going to weigh in, and I'm going to tell you, I would have demanded way more. This is what I would have done to get more free stuff.
Which, by the way, the Twitter feed speaks for itself. We know you would have demanded free stuff. Okay, number 2. Peter Schwartz, I mean, look, when you think diets, you think losing weight, you think Peter Schwartz, he apparently has been very vocal about a health scare, much like his broken hip. He had some kind of heart situation.
He tweeted about
that.
He
tweeted about it. So I don't feel like it's not fair ground to discuss
No, he made it public.
He's very open about it. So yesterday he tweeted, now he's 13 pounds down since the scare. Go see a doctor, follow my lead on health. Great. 13 pounds. Nice job. I wish I could lose 13 pounds in 2 weeks, Pete. Somebody asked Pete, well, Pete, what's your secret? And for those of you who have gone through diet plans and everything else, we have the diet plan for you, and Pete delivered. And here it is. I just eliminated junk food and also just making smarter decisions for meals, avoiding fried food as much as I can, and also cutting down significantly on soda.
Oh.
That is my Achilles heel. Now, I'm just having soda with dinner.
Which begs the question, how often was he drinking soda if a diet revolves around only drinking soda at dinner?
Yes, exactly. Folks, I would just tell you that is not how you should lose 13 pounds. And by the way, notice he didn't eliminate fried foods. It's fried foods when I can.
Right, yeah.
When I can.
Could you imagine losing 13 pounds and still eating fried foods and drinking soda every night? What was the diet before that?
Right, which again tells me there's a plateau coming. This is deck chair off the Titanic time. And that's exactly it. It's still crashing, by the way. All right.
So any one of these tweets is an amazing day.
Right.
But there's a third one.
The third one takes the cake. Peter Schwartz. By the way, this was before all of them. This actually started the day. Dear @Twitter, @verified, 3 dots. You have declined me for a blue check mark on 2 prior occasions. But I now have 7,700 followers and would like you to reconsider. Oh, by the way, I don't know if you heard, but I'm hosting a show on WFAN on Sunday. please make note of it. 1 retweet, 14 likes.
And so this is the lowest of the low when you are not only begging for the blue check mark, but also insisting to Twitter, hey, maybe you've heard of this little thing called WFAN. I'm doing a show on it, which is a once-in-a-lifetime show that he also had to grovel for that they weren't going to give him.
Right, begged him for. And also, flexing your follower account, I got news for you. Twitter, it's all about ratio. It's easy to have 7,000 followers when you follow 5,000 people. So I don't know that that's what Twitter's necessarily looking for either. And maybe, Pete, just check your timeline as to why you haven't been verified. Who wants to make a spoof out of you that we need to know it's definitely you? Please.
I mean, that takes the cake of demanding from Twitter a blue check mark because he finally got the shift that he hasn't been allowed to get in 20 years.
And why would any 26-year-old person behind the verified Twitter account know or have heard that he's hosting Sunday night on the overnight on WFAN? How would they have known that?
Could you imagine pointing to an overnight shift on a sports radio station to Twitter and being like, that? Now you'll understand why I deserve that check.
And I hate to say it, a shift that, frankly, none of the younger people wanted to take because it's Halloween party night, Saturday into Sunday. So they looked around and said, well, we got to give some meat on this bone.
Boy, Bogues, he hit for the cycle on Twitter yesterday.
I mean, I shouldn't at this point be flabbergasted by the lack of self-awareness, but I am. I just... All of those things are remarkable. Like, no one cares about those things. Twitter verified doesn't care about the fan this weekend. He only got it because he publicly shamed the company for not giving it to him on their airwaves. I mean, it's just, my goodness.
It had it all. It had
Everything.
it all. It had this perfect quilt of delusion and defiance and arrogance and ego and gluttony and mismanagement of your body, and just like it had it, those 3 tweets, it was like if you want to tell the story of Schwartz's life, just read his tweets from October 25th, 2021, and you will know everything you need to know.
Hi, I'm Jon Favreau, host of Crooked Media's new weekly series, Offline with Jon Favreau. If you feel like the internet is breaking our brains, but you still can't put the phone down, this show might help. Each week, I'll be talking to people like Monica Lewinsky, Megan Rapinoe, Peter Hamby, and DeRay McKesson about all the ways our extremely online existence is shaping politics, media, entertainment, sports, business, and more. New episodes of Offline with Jon Favreau drop every Sunday on the Pod Save America feed. Listen on Odyssey or wherever you get your podcasts.
Have you cut the cord and are feeling bored with your streaming services? CuriosityStream can help. With thousands of documentary films and TV shows, let CuriosityStream put the science back in your screen time, astound you with history come to life, and wildlife that will reach out and grab you. We've got the fix for your nonfiction addiction. Watch us on any device, anywhere you are. Visit CuriosityStream.com to sign up and start streaming now.
It's the holiday season, and MeUndies has your back and your butt covered with the perfect gifts for friends, family, or yourself. Because you deserve comfy things too. MeUndies has something for everyone with undies, jock straps, PJ sets, loungewear, and more, available in sizes extra small through 4XL. Give some me time with limited edition holiday prints and styles for everybody. Get 15% off your first order, free shipping, and a 100% satisfaction guarantee at MeUndies.com/cozytime. That's MeUndies.com/cozytime.